When I think of botanical spirits, when they're good, you get an emotional connection to what you're drinking. Whether it's a memory, or this flavor reminds me of something I've had before, or maybe it's an entirely new experience and then your memory is just tied to that spirit and you had a great time drinking it or made an amazing cocktail with it. For me, it's Aquavit. I got introduced to Aquavit in Denmark at a very young age. I'm used to drinking whiskey straight at that age. Like, that's sort of our rite of passage in America, right? So I get this botanical spirit that's got this nice little underlying spice, and I was like, cool, you know, it's the same strength as whiskey, I can handle that. I started bartending shortly after that, and Aquavit never showed up again until I really took an interest in cocktails. And that's when I started searching for new ingredients to play around with, and I remembered this crazy botanical spirit that I had had years prior. This spirit has a rich history. It's been around about as long as gin has. Originally, it was used as a medicine, sort of a cure-all, and that's where the name is derived from. Aquavitae means water of life. Aquavit is always served during festive occasions. It's got this place at the dinner table, and sort of like wine is to the French, they let their children drink a little Aquavit. I think it's great in the American market to talk about it as a cocktail ingredient, but the tradition is for it to be served with food and as a sipping spirit. By law, Aquavit must be flavored with caraway or dill. They have to be the dominant botanicals. We actually use both in ours. It's definitely caraway forward. We do use a little dill, which adds a little bit of sweetness to the recipe. Many aquavits in Scandinavia choose one or the other and then sometimes supplement other flavors. Usually it's just one or two, maybe three other botanicals. I think of Aquavit much more as a cocktail ingredient, so I wanted to amp up the flavor. The other botanicals are clementine, staghorn sumac, orris root, clary sage, anise, angelica, juniper, and coriander. It's the Scandinavian cousin to gin. That's the easiest comparison we can make to it. It's made the same way, just has different botanical makeup. From the get-go, organic was something that we were committed to. Definitely for us, knowing that we're doing our best as stewards for the land to source responsibly, it's important. It took about 6 months of trial and error, starting with individual fractions, so taking each botanical and distilling it by itself. And then I started to blend stuff together to see how they interacted. Once we figured out which botanicals we want to use, we devised a way to put them all together into the recipe and distill at one time. Lots of adjusting and tweaking everything, making sure that balance is still right and we're still staying true to that original flavor that we're trying to capture. 10 botanicals. And I get the question a lot, like, why 10? I had an idea in my head. I want it to be citrusy. I want some floral elements. I feel like each one of these botanicals lends an important role and helps to balance out the entire final product. We always wanted to have this classic flavor profile, but at the same time, change it just enough to make it modern and appeal more to the cocktail scene and a younger generation. What we've found since we've been introducing it to bartenders is that they're really excited about the unique character of this spirit on its own and what they can do with it as a building block for entirely new recipes and an entirely new experience for them and their guests.
Using the Norden Aquavit, it's really cool because it's not an ingredient that you see every day and guests trust us. So we just tell them, this is a flavor profile that really works well, and I don't want to lose their trust by not giving them a good cocktail.
I say, hey, we got this new product, Norden Aquavit, made in Detroit. I let them know, it's like full flavored, like it's similar to gin, but not quite like that. You get a little bit more balance in the botanicals, not so much the juniper forward.
Juniper is kind of always one of those things that people are afraid of with gin, but Aquavit's a nice entrance to that because it's softer, a little more delicate, so people can be exposed to Aquavit, learn something new about an interesting spirit with a lot of history, ease their way into new and exciting spirits.
We try to use it as much as we can here since we've received it, and it's just amazing.
I can't say enough about the spirit and how it makes this cocktail one of our more popular ones on the menu here at The Last Word.
Going forward, celebrating the history of the spirit is very important to us, as well as bringing people together through memorable experiences and really using Aquavit as a creative tool for new ideas. And beyond that, it tastes pretty damn good too.